what it means to be an American. America is freedom, and freedom is special and rare.
We, the people of this great nation.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
We, the people of this great nation.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. I hope everyone is having a wonderful evening. So many things have evolved since the last time I did the podcast. It's been quite interesting to see what's been going on in this country. Freedom is so important, and it feels as if it's being taken away from us bit by bit. Just with the election alone and the anomalies in the election alone and everything that's occurring right in front of our faces, no one is doing anything about it. We all agree on one thing. 2020 has been a really rough year for a lot of Americans. We've had COVID-19. We've had an election that apparently has been robbed or is in the process of being robbed or trying to be robbed. We've had riots. We've had looting. We've had police officers thrown to the ground below level, basically trashed to the level that we've never seen in America before. We have new people in Congress wanting to defund the police and having a major movement in defunding the police. We are literally living in the worst year of our times. They want to destroy our country. That's what the left wants to do. There's no doubt in my mind that is their goal. And it's sad to say, because you would think that every American will want the best for this country and the people of this country, but it's not like that. Sadly, it is not like that. Sadly, we have a group of individuals in Washington, D.C., in the swamp, that they don't care about the average American. We have one man that does, but he's fighting against everyone by himself. Of course, he's got the backing of the people, 75 million to be exact, possibly more. But it's going to be an uphill battle. This is not going to be far from over, but it's going to be far from easy. Today we have a special guest, our QAnon buddy himself, Chris from Philadelphia. Chris, how are you, my friend?
What's up?
Well, guys, I mean, you guys already know that me and Chris, he's like my buddy. I mean, I'll make fun of him. We'll hash it out.
Like your buddy? I'm like your buddy?
Well, you are my buddy. A very good buddy, to say the least. I love the man, you know. There's things that people go through in life together that just it's almost like being in the military and serving time in Iraq or something with somebody, that bond that can never be broken. Me and him have that bond. So let's get down to business. Must be a circus in town. What is this? Chris, what do you think's going on? What do you think is going to end up happening? I mean, I know that there's already things that have evolved. Georgia, people wanted proof. We've got videos now. Apparently, we've had videos.
Fraud everywhere. All kinds of different types of fraud. Not even just one. Like numerous cases of fraud. Like, I mean, I don't know what else. What else can you say? You know, you want proof. I mean,
no. Me and you can both agree. You and I can both agree. The proof is there. The question is, what's going to happen next? That's
beyond reasonable doubt. You know, like.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next. Like, what's the next move? Like, okay, let's say you do prove this fraud. What, do we hire special electorals to vote for Trump even after it's been certified? The majority of these states, I mean, look, do you guys have an understanding on something? For example, every time you hear the first thing they'll tell you is, yeah, he's had 40 court cases thrown out. Let me explain. Let me give you a brief history lesson. So did Bush. Bush even conceded. George Bush conceded to the election, okay, at one point. And we're still weeks away from the time period it took for them to do the recount in Florida. Just so you have an understanding, he lost most of the lower court cases. And to put things in perspective, These losses don't mean anything. It gets him closer to the Supreme Court. Now, that being said, he has victories as well. The victories no one talks about. For example, Arizona granted his legal team access to being able to count 100 ballots. What happens? They count 100 ballots. Out of 100 ballots, one was put in for Biden, and it was for Trump. And the other one was for Trump but never counted. That is a 2%. You do that across the board. If the math is correct, and you do that across the board on 1,000, 100,000, 300,000 ballots, Donald Trump takes Arizona. That's simple. Now, I haven't heard anything new about the hearings in Nevada. I know that everybody kept saying, oh, but these people are not going under oath. Well, they went under oath today. Today they were under oath. The witnesses were under oath today. Okay? And they were deposed by Joe Biden's crooked law team that happens to be Hillary Clinton's law team as well. So all these things being put into perspective, and you start thinking about all this stuff, where does it leave us?
I think the judge is supposed to make a decision tomorrow, right?
On what?
Nevada?
Okay.
Nevada?
Okay. GOP lawmakers ask Supreme Court to block final certification of Pennsylvania vote. Okay, so I don't know if this is the Supreme Court. Supreme Court lawmakers ask SCOTUS to final certification of the PA votes. Thursday argues that expanded absentee voting procedures violate the state's constitution. I don't know if this is a state Supreme Court or...
Yeah, it's not the Supreme Court. It's a state.
I mean, it's this is crazy. I mean, if they allow this to happen, America's going to fundamentally change for the rest of our lives.
Oh, yeah.
Republicans will never gain power again. Republicans, everything that we believe in this country to be sacred, that's out the window. I mean, we heard it straight from the mouth of the devil himself, Chuck Schumer. We will take Georgia, not win, take Georgia, and then change America. You better be careful when you say words like that. When you hear a senator saying words like that, you better be scared. Because they really hate this country. They really think this country is that bad, where they're senators and they're sitting in the Senate given all these opportunities and they hate this country. The people that are running this country hate this country. This is a problem. Okay, so I'm looking at the article. Trump lawyers claim 40,000 double votes in latest Nevada lawsuit. Trump's legal team says the election was unfortunately stolen. In the last-ditch effort to alter the 2020 presidential election results, the Trump campaign filed another lawsuit telling Nevada judge they have evidence of decreased people voting and thousands of double votes. President Trump lost Nevada to President Joe by 33,596, which were certified by the state's Supreme Court and Governor Steve Sisolak last week, essentially securing the state's 6 electoral college votes. Trump's attorney, Jesse Penal, told Judge James Russell that 1,506 votes received in the general election came from deceased voters, according to ABC local news outlet 8 Now. Penal also alleged that 42,284 voters voted twice. Roughly 20,000 voters were found to have voted without Nevada mailing addresses. 2,468 voters had changed their addresses to another state. It feels like it's going good and it feels like it's going bad. And I'm going to explain to you why, people. We know this election was robbed. I feel like it's going to be robbed. I feel like Trump is up against something that he cannot beat because he doesn't have the support. He has the support of the people, but all those senators and congressmen, I mean, some of them support him, but they're not, they break, they're spineless. When it gets too hot or somebody throws the race card at them or anything, They use identity politics, they break. So they'll probably break. They have no backbone. Now, I have faith in people like Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, Devin Nunes, even Lindsey Graham. To a certain point, he's winning me over. But look, I'm just going to break down some things that have, situations that have occurred in this election that hasn't ever occurred before, or has, but all these things occurred in this one specific election. All these things occurred in this one specific election, and it's only happened in history one or two times, but it's only one of those things have happened. I don't know if you're following me. Well,
That's crazy.
There's 18 bellwether states, right? 18 or 19 bellwether states that usually have predicted the elections, for like the last 100 years or something. And out of those 18 bellwether states or 19, Donald Trump, I believe, took 17 of them. Okay? He won 17 of them. That's number one. Number two, it's been 150 years since the incumbent president gets more people to vote for them in the election and loses the election. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump broke the record of any sitting president. That's anomaly number two. And then you start jumping to, these programs, Dominion, which 3 senators were completely against. Texas decided not to use it because it was too easy to commit fraud on. You start putting all these things together, it just doesn't make sense. It's been 60 years since a president has won an election when they've lost both Florida and Ohio. 60 years. Do you think Joe Biden accomplished all this from his basement? I mean, realistic. Let's just talk logical here. The man didn't campaign. Forget about the fact. Let's forget feelings. Let's just use the simple term logic. Does it make sense? Do you think Joe Biden had enough votes or do you think Donald Trump had enough people that hated him that he was going to surpass the first black president by 15 million votes? Think about this. 15 million votes, yet he lost more counties than Obama and Hillary Clinton by a long shot.
You're talking about Biden.
Yes.
Yeah,
How is this possible?
Oh, that's fine. Sure.
These are questions that we have to ask ourselves. How is this possible? Logic tells me something's wrong. My logic tells me this is weird. But then when you realize where he won, then you start analyzing, you start going, okay, well, Trump says a lot of things. He's out there. We can't really believe everything he says. Okay. Trump has a tendency of being overbearing, and he has tendencies of, going straight forward and saying what he thinks. Okay. Look at where these frauds took place, where these alleged fraud took place. Atlanta, Georgia, Wayne County, Clark County, Maricopa County, Philadelphia. Now, what does all this tell you? They're utilizing the blacks and Hispanics. Tell me,
Of course, they always been.
they use blacks as a cover to hide the fraud. Basically, they're using the numbers of African Americans that are living in these areas to hide and cover up stolen votes, fake votes. That's the reality. How does Donald Trump win more Hispanics this time around than the last presidential election and still lose? How does he carry
Because he
more
actually helped them.
African Americans? How does he win more African Americans and still lose the election?
Mhm.
How is he leading in the night in every single state by hundreds of thousands of votes? We wake up the next morning and in 1 hour and a half, 500,000 votes miraculously appear for Joe Biden and only 3,200 for Donald Trump. These are questions that need to be answered. And Americans should be concerned, and Americans should go to the streets and should protest. Americans should go out there and they should be upset. They should be upset. That's my opening statement. All right, so we could go straight into conversation, Chris. So I mean, that's just pretty much what I've been feeling inside. I'm constantly debating back and forth with liberals. You know this because you go a lot on my stream. And their answer is there's no evidence. He loses court cases. But the evidence is there. It's there. I don't know what more evidence they need. I mean, it's apparent to me that apparently people do want to either ignore it, or people just don't love this country enough that they'd rather see Donald Trump leave office than save our democracy.
They don't realize what's going to happen, man. Like Biden becomes president, man. All hell's breaking loose. Look, he's starting a 100-day mask policy. You know,
that's all he has to run on. The man has no plans.
I'm just saying, like, that's just one of the things. Like, he's ruled by the extremists. You know what I mean? I mean, he's extremist too. So I'm not saying he's not, because he is. He's just trying to act like he's not. But, you know, he's getting ruled by the squad even more, you know?
I mean, look, this is what scares me the most, right? So I see Donald Trump consistently fighting the good fight, but I see people like losing faith, like Fox News, Republicans that speak on the radio. It almost feels like as if they've already admitted defeat and they're already expecting a Biden presidency. Now, mind you, Americans, my fellow Americans, tell me, when have you ever heard of a prosecutor threatening to indict a sitting president as soon as he comes out of office? That's what they're doing. The Democrats are making threats. Are we going to allow that to happen? Are we going to allow them to steal our election?
Fuck no.
I mean, this is something very serious. I mean, this is our fundamental values here. This is what makes us Americans. This is the most important part of being an American, is choosing and voting for your candidate. Are we going to allow them to just take that away from us? And then call us for 4 years, criticize us, call us every which name in the book, put us through hell, put us through Russian collusion, put us through an impeachment, and then rob the election and tell us to unify? Fuck you. That's what my message is to the Democrats. Fuck you if you think we're going to unify with you. You guys are a bunch of pieces of shits that criticized us, called us dumb, made fun of us, ridiculed our president, attacked our president, even after he massively had accomplishments. And you still continue to attack our presidents. There was actually a study done in Yale that literally the first 100 days of the first 100 days of President Trump's presidency, 93% of CNN's covering was negative. 93%.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They spied on a sitting president. They have done everything you can think of. James Comey has lied under oath, never been indicted. But General Flynn gets indicted, a real patriot. Not a piece of shit like James Comey. A disgrace to the FBI, a disgrace to his country, writes a book, makes money off being a disgrace, praised by everyone. These are the Michael Bolton, another fine example of what we don't want in government. Trump realized that. Michael Bolton. He got rid of him. Donald Trump got rid of him. What does he do? He writes an all-tell book. Makes money. What do all these people do? They all make money. And CNN backs them all up. Remember when CNN was talking about Michael Bolton saying how bad he was? That he was a war hawk? How can Trump pick that man? That man's going to put us into a war. Guess what? Donald Trump hasn't put us in any wars. He's trying to bring our troops back. He brought in a Middle Eastern peace deal. But you know what? That's all gone. The only unity I see is Iran burning pictures of Donald Trump and Joe Biden. That's about the only unity I see. They're burning both their pictures, not just one. That's the first time I've ever seen Biden and Trump united in a picture as they burn it in Iran, of the hatred and anger they have. Do you honestly think Sleepy Joe Biden is going to be able to handle China? Our biggest threat. Believe me, these people want to control the world. They control 80% of our medicine. 80%. We count on 80% of our medicine on China. That's dangerous. You think Joe Biden's going to do something about that? No, that number's going to go up to about 92% by the time Joe Biden's out of office. We already know this. We've already seen the pics. And for you Democrats out there that are so proud of the candidate, Joe Biden was going to move towards the progressive. No, he's putting in all his elite friends. Every single one of those people have connections to China, Wall Street, and they've all done business. And they were all ex-lobbyists. So tell me, where's the progressives? Nowhere to be found. He lied to you libs too. You see, you guys are a bunch of dummies. You guys voted based on hate instead of voting based on what's in your best interest. You had a president that cared about you. You had a president that put America first. Maybe not the most presidential president in our time. He was different, but different in a good way. He was transparent. Let's see how much we're going to know about what's going on in the government now. Now, the CNNs, the MSNBCs, they got their grips on these people. So they're going to have the inside scoop of what's going on inside the White House. No more transparency. Donald Trump may have driven people crazy with his tweets, but we knew what he was thinking and we knew what he was doing. That's out the window as well. New agencies, or whatever these people want to call themselves, because they're not journalists. What are they going to talk about? Joe Biden's going to be the boringest president of our time. The most entertaining thing about Joe Biden is going to be when he meets with a president and can't even pronounce his name, forgets which president he's meeting with, forgets what country he's in. That's going to be entertaining for us. We're going to be able to laugh at him. Chris, you can jump in whenever you want. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Do you feel homeless in today's American political world? Not really into either candidate or party? Guess what? You're not alone. Join me and others just like you across this great country for a discussion of politics from a viewpoint that you can't find in today's media. The Middle. I'm your host, Brian Grozier, and I invite you to join in on the discussion by downloading and listening to the Middle American Podcast.
Oh, I mean, I just, want to say Michael Bolton is not there. We don't know any Michael Bolton at all. That was actually a singer.
Dude, I'm talking about the fucking...
I know. It's not Michael Bolton.
What's
John
his name? Damn, you could have corrected me. Sorry, guys. I'm in 3 beers. So, what? John Bolton, right?
Yeah.
You fucker. You let me keep going with Michael Bolton. I knew that name sounded too famous.
I tried it, but then you wouldn't let me, so I was like, all right.
Damn, I was having a really serious... Come on, man. How are you going to do that shit to me? Now, we got to have some fun with this.
Brother.
Listen, when bad things are about to happen, you got to try to have some fun, because when the shit hits the fan, we're all going to feel it. Yeah. You guys knew who I was talking about. Mr. Bolton. I may have mistaken him with Mr. Bolton, the musician, but I was talking about Mr. Bolton, the politician, or the war hawk. But yeah, I mean, look, guys, I mean, everything about this feels wrong. Everything about 2020 feels wrong. They tell us stay inside. They get caught going outside.
These motherfuckers stay inside. Get the fuck out of here. Listen to one thing you say.
These people are the biggest hypocrites. Do not celebrate Thanksgiving with your family. They all get caught going on planes, traveling to visit their family.
Now Christmas, they want to keep you away from your family. You know what I mean? But they want to try to do is destroy the family figure. That's exactly what they want to do.
No, that's not what they're trying. That's not what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is they're trying to see. They're trying to see how compliant Americans would be. They're trying to control Americans.
Jay, I understand that completely, but they're trying to destroy the structure, the family structure. I'm telling you, they are. That is their freaking agenda.
They're even dismissing at this point Dr. Fauci, who's a complete moron in my book, but even dismissing the fact that Dr. Fauci has said schools should remain open. Mind you, Donald Trump said that in July. Just saying, for a man that wasn't following science, apparently the science was following him, because he was damn right on it. He knew this was going to be a super spreader. He knew there was no way of stopping this, and he knew that the only way was therapeutics and vaccines. That's it. He had a game plan. He put it into action.
The reason why why it is a super spreader is because you can have a cold, you can have allergies, you're going to come up positive as a fucking corona.
Okay,
You
listen.
understand that?
I do believe the COVID-19 exists, and I do think people do die from it.
COVID-19 is not a virus. 100%.
Okay. We're not
not
gonna
a
have
virus.
this. We're not gonna have this argument. But
I'm just telling you.
I will
it's
tell you
not.
something. Researchers, there has been some new research that has come out that's pretty fucking interesting. I actually read up on this
Did I
yesterday.
do already?
No, you did not mention this. There was actually people that went to blood banks back in September that donated blood, and they have found COVID-19 antibodies. So
Okay.
how do you
That
explain
means
that?
nothing.
That means that COVID was around way before this supposed
That's what I'm saying,
pandemic
Jay.
was
Don't you
going on.
understand? We all have COVID, 17 COVID viruses in us. Every one of us, okay? Naturally, okay? It's not the COVID-19. The 19 is a bullshit, dude. That is a franchise. I'm telling you, people are getting paid big money. That's
Now,
all that is.
I don't believe in conspiracy theories. You know this, Chris. But
That's what
I
I'm
will
saying.
tell
It's
you
not
one
conspiracy
thing.
theory.
There's no way that this year less people are dying from heart attacks. Okay? That number usually increases. So I would definitely
Exactly.
say a lot of the COVID deaths were going to be natural deaths that were going to happen anyways. They just happen to have COVID in their system. And they labeled it as a COVID death. It happened in Orlando.
but
They literally labeled a guy that crashed in a motorcycle as a COVID death. So
I'm telling you right now that Donald Trump knows about this COVID. He knows it's not a fucking virus. He knows it's bullshit, but he can't say anything about it. I'm telling you right now.
I
Look
don't
at what
I don't
happened to
know
him.
I don't know what's
He was
in Donald
completely
Trump's.
fine. His son got it, completely fine. Everybody got it, completely fine. Grassley got it, completely fine.
I met a guy today when I was delivering a car. Guys, I own a car rental business. So when I was delivering a car today, I was delivering an exotic car. The guy had gotten COVID. He said, I didn't feel anything. He goes, I tested positive. I got it here in Florida. And then I went about my business
you.
back to, where's he from? Illinois. And everything was fine. He said, I didn't feel anything. He goes, I quarantined because that's what our governor and our mayor was saying to do. But he said, nothing. I felt nothing.
Fucking shit.
I mean, it's ironic that when Biden gets supposedly called as the president-elect by the media, you could celebrate in the streets. You can go ahead and people were wearing masks, but they were sharing bottles of champagne. Apparently, people are so smart that they think that sharing saliva is not going to give you COVID-19. I mean, listen, the stupidity
It's
of what's
fucking not.
the stupidity of what's happening in this country. Notice the people who are passing away. Older people.
Yes.
What's happening
Old
is that,
people.
yes, they are getting
Old.
some sort of bacteria, which is probably then converting to COVID-19, and they have pre-existing conditions. They're old. Their immune system can't fight things the same way.
Not the true.
I disagree with you. I do believe that COVID-19 exists, but I think that the best governor and the example to lead by is Governor DeSantis. And I criticized them at first with the pandemic because I'm not going to lie to you. They had me. The media had me. They had me scared. At first, they had me scared when I was seeing all these people dying and all this stuff dying. And then I started running into people that had COVID-19 and they didn't feel shit. And then I kept running into more people that had COVID-19. And I was like, wait a second. And then Governor DeSantis has been proven to be a great leader. I'm glad I live in the great state of Florida. Chris, you're fucked in Philadelphia. You're in a shitty ass city.
I do whatever the fuck I want.
I went to go visit
I do whatever
Philly.
the fuck I want. Fuck them. I don't give a fuck what they say.
Well,
go right in front of
you live
anybody.
in a
Go
city
ahead.
that I wish I lived in because I would have been at all those protests for Trump. I would have been at every single one of them. None of them are happening here in Florida. You know why? Because we know how to run elections. We're good at this.
Yeah.
We already learned from our mistake in 2000. We got this taken care of. Ohio did it right. Wisconsin, mysterious mailmen's asking for 100,000 ballots to be picked up, that they're missing 100,000 ballots. How the fuck do you lose 100,000 ballots? That's not a lot of that's not a little bit of paper. 100,000 ballots fills up about half a room. Nah, not half a room, but it'll fill up an entire wall. That's a lot of ballots. You lose that quantity and suddenly you find it mysteriously? Wow. Man, I'm telling you, just like they reported, the Federalist, Joe Biden must have a magical wand because he has made all the stars align with him and he has created miracles unlike we've ever seen in history. And history usually repeats itself. Usually elections run the same way. Usually if you win key swing states, and usually if you're the incumbent president and you get more votes, you win the same counties that you won before, usually you get reelected. But this year, for some reason, something changed. What changed? Nancy Pelosi put a very good plot into play with the mail-in ballots, accepting this new fraud to come in. Stacey Abrams is currently under investigation. The one that's never conceded, you know, the one that's never conceded that she lost the Georgia governor election. Yeah, she still hasn't conceded, by the way. For all of those people out there that want Trump to concede, she still has not yet to concede. And this happened several years ago. She still has not conceded. And apparently,
so Hillary,
huh?
You know what I mean? I mean, she conceded, but
she conceded, but she still thinks she won. Apparently, she still thinks she's the president, and she lives in the White House, but she doesn't live in the White House, and she's not president.
Jay, know what's crazy, Jay? They probably cheated that election so bad that she can't believe she didn't win. And because Trump got so many more votes.
I may be bringing this guy on the show, which is going to be very interesting, but I may be bringing the CEO of Overstock. I've been communicating back and forth via email, and he might be jumping on the show. And the interesting thing about him is that he says that he knows the person that's rigging these elections. He says that they were supposed to do it in 2016, but they never did. And I mean, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but the fact remains that what I'm seeing right now makes me believe fraud is there. To what extent? I don't know, but it looks like it's big. It looks like it's big, and it looks like it's enough to flip this election. And the reason I tell you this is why. We don't need millions of votes. We don't need millions of votes. With 200,000 votes, and I'm talking about split up in different states, Donald Trump wins the election. Easily. He's only losing 33,000 in Nevada. He's losing what? In Wisconsin, about 20,000? Georgia's under 15? Let's not forget the disaster of Georgia that they found about, 9,000 ballots that weren't counted? Most of them favoring Donald Trump? What an anomaly, huh? Pennsylvania?
And he doesn't need all the swing states, right? I mean, the state that he won already.
He takes Nevada.
He needs, 3?
He takes Nevada. He takes Arizona back. He takes Georgia. Takes Wisconsin, and he won the election.
That's what I mean.
He wouldn't even need Pennsylvania. But again, Michigan is in play. So is Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania seems to be the battle. He flips one of these states, it's over. If he flips one of these states, all the states are going to have to flip. Because they're going to have to investigate every single state. Because then his allegations would have been accurate. If they manage to pull off where they can prove these accusations, and Arizona's looking good. The fact that they were able to check 100 sample ballots, random ballots, and they noticed 2 of them were changed to Joe Biden that were supposed to go to Trump. On that mathematical percentile, that's 2%, Donald Trump wins Arizona. If he flips that state after it's been certified, boy, you got a whole new can of worms, because then every single state's going to have to check their shit. Problem is...
I'm telling you, Jay, I say Donald Trump beat every fucking state this year. I really do.
I don't think he took the state of California. I don't think he took the state of California. I don't think he took Washington State. I don't think he took Oregon. I think there's a strong possibility that Minnesota could have been in play. I even predicted on my electoral map prior to the election. I thought he was going to take Minnesota. I was shocked he didn't.
He probably did, Jay.
Right now in Massachusetts, there's a doctor out there that's investigating anomalies over there too. Let's not forget, fraud is being present even in House races. Suddenly, 55 votes came in for the incumbent Democrat, puts him right over the top by 12 votes. In a congression in New York. Isn't that interesting? They were able to
What was
find
that?
just enough.
Because I
It's
heard
happening right now.
New York was losing by the Republicans
Well, no, there's been seats gained, but
tonight.
there's been seats gained, but one of the seats that we were fighting for, they miraculously
Right.
found 55 votes, putting the Democrat over the Republican by 12 votes.
Yeah, but that's a recount. That's not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, they could they're gonna request a recount, but I mean, this
Fuck
just
yeah.
shows you that this is at every single level. We have videotapes. Those Georgia tapes are not lying. That's with you
No.
can see those videos where they're escorting people out and then they're bringing out black suitcases with ballots. That is not normal. Is it not enough for at least us to question it? Can they bring those people in that were in that room? Put them under oath? Under perjury of under the law of perjury? And see if they'll sing like a bird or not. Problem is nobody's
yeah,
doing
do that.
anything. It's Donald Trump's legal team against big tech, against the Democrats, against the Hollywood elites, against the elites in general, Wall Street. Hey, he got funded. Everybody keeps thinking Donald Trump is the man of the rich people. You're damn wrong. Donald Trump got 2.5 times less money than Biden did from big corporations and from big companies and from Wall Street. This is all BS. You're being fed bullshit, and you're eating it all up. Now, I know that a lot of people right now are angry with Fox News. Yeah, because they called Arizona. I found it a little odd that they called Arizona. Bottom line is, you don't get honest media anymore. And that's the reality. You're never going to get the truth of anything. If you want to find something out, you're going to have to research it, and you're going to have to see like 10 different stations, try to piece the puzzles together and come up with your own conclusion on what's really going on. Because nobody's telling you the truth. I can tell you Biden's crazy. I can tell you Biden's senile. And I can tell you he has no plan for America except wear masks for 100 days. That's his big plan. That's going to be his diversion from the fact that the first 100 days, he's going to be sitting in the White House trying to recuperate. In the basement. They got to set up his basement in the White House.
He's supposedly pleading it, pleading for America to wear masks for 100 days.
Yeah, well, that's what he's asking for Americans, please, for the first 100 days I'm in office, wear a mask. When 85% of people that were wearing masks still got COVID-19. Apparently, it doesn't do anything. But again, a lot of scientists have come out and called it a hoax. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
It is a fucking hoax, complete hoax, 100% hoax.
Okay, I'm kind of curious on what Donald Trump said because they asked Donald Trump what he thought about Attorney General Trump
When was that?
untrusting. Trump go untrusting. They asked Donald Trump, "Do you trust Bill Barr?" And he goes, "Ask me in a number of weeks."
Oh, okay.
That was his response.
I know the reporters asked, what's her name? McElmy or what's her name?
McAnally. I know who you're talking about, the hottie. She's just so pretty.
Well, asked her the same question, and she said that she's not going to talk about something for a reason, whatever. She's just not giving them what they want, fuck them.
Yeah, they're asking for Trump to concede. Wow, but yet they were actually preaching quite the opposite when it was Al Gore. It's incredible. These people are the epitome of. I mean, these people are just evil. I don't even have words to describe these people.
I told you they're evil, Jay.
I don't even
These
know.
motherfuckers are Satanists, dude.
These people are
I'm telling you, they're Satanists.
They're so bad. These people are so bad. What they're doing to
That's
this
why I call
country
them
is so.
Democrats. They're Democrats. I'm telling you.
I mean,
These motherfuckers don't care.
Oh my God, it's just sickening to me. It disgusts me. It seems like the only guys fighting, the only guys and gal fighting in Fox News for Donald Trump is Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and Laura the Ingram angle, Laura Ingram. Those are the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
three people that are fighting. And Jesse Waters when he gets his chance in the 5.
Yeah, I love him. He's
I
awesome.
love Jesse Waters. The guy's cool as hell. But
He's always
nobody.
fighting with what's his name?
Juan
that black
Williams.
guy. What's his name?
Juan Williams.
Oh, I can't stand that motherfucker. He's a liberal,
Well,
complete liberal. And
he's
no
a
matter what,
Democrat.
no matter what facts come out, Jay, he still goes against Trump no
Well,
matter
listen,
what.
I don't have issues with that though. I don't have issues with people defending their party. What my
I
biggest
do if they're not facts.
my biggest issue is, well, no, because it's opinionated. When they're talking, and it's on hearsay
And
and
that's
stuff
what
like
liberals.
that.
That's what liberal
What-
stations do. They're all just opinions. That's
Yeah,
all they
but
are.
Fox
They're
does
not
the
facts.
same.
None.
Fox does the same, but that's not my argument. The argument is if you claim to be journalists, I mean, the most ridiculous thing I saw today was when CNN announced, they go, we have information that China's been lying to us. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, we knew this, in fucking March? We knew this in February? Now's when you guys got evidence that they lied about how long they knew about the COVID-19. Like it's late breaking news or something. Dude, all of America already knew that, you dumbasses. You guys are just trying to pretend to be reporters now. You guys are trying to pretend to be journalists. If you were real journalists, you would investigate. If you weren't worried about Hunter Biden's laptop, they would have investigated Hunter Biden's laptop. But they don't because they know they might find something. They don't report the election. You know how easy it would be for the news outlets if they were to investigate to debunk Trump? But they don't do it. You know why? Because they probably can't debunk him. So they just censor it, throw it under the rug, don't even mention it. That's what they do. That's what they do because they can easily investigate all these allegations. They can go show up to all these people that were voters, all these counters, all these people in the poll watchers and get witnesses that said that never happened on record. But they don't because they know it did happen. And they're scared of what they might find. Journalism is dead. Sean Hannity said this back in 2006 or something. He said journalism is dead. Journalism has been dead. These people are biased. They have an agenda. They no longer report news. They report whatever's the narrative that is fed to them. They're insiders within the government. They talk to the elites like Adam Schiff, which I don't call. I consider him more like a piece of shit, but whatever. He's part of the elite class, I guess, in Washington. Mr. No Personality, Mr. No Expression, Mr. Robot, the shit show. They have contacts with him and they let him go on TV and they let him say that after him interviewing 36 people in the basement, he comes on and he says, we have evidence Russia was involved and Ukraine, and there was that all this, we have enough evidence of Russian collusion. We have enough evidence of impeachment. Yet all the witnesses were saying, no, man, we didn't really witness anything. And then he just walks right out of those meetings. After interrogating these people, he walks right out and says the complete opposite of what the witnesses said. Where's the whistleblower? We got whistleblowers. We got hundreds of them. They signed documents. But they can't be I mean, literally, CNN, MSNBC, all of them were calling the whistleblower that we don't know who he is. For Adam Schiff, they were calling him a patriot. So all these other whistleblowers that are coming out against fraud in our election, they're not patriots. They're coming out in person. They're showing their faces. They got nothing to gain, more to lose. Most likely, a lot of them have lost their jobs already just for doing that, especially in liberal counties. What do they have to gain? They show their faces. They're not patriots, though, because it doesn't fit the left-wing narrative. It doesn't fit CNN's narrative. They're a joke. And anybody who voted for Joe Biden, you made a fucking mistake. And if he becomes president, you're going to live to see your mistake. And I can't wait for you to live to see that shit. I know I'm on the right side of history. I voted for the right president. I voted for the first president in a long time that put American first. I have never seen so much patriotism in my entire life. I have never been prouder to be an American than under this president. Forget about Bush. Forget about the other Bush. Forget about Bill Clinton. Forget about Obama. I have never felt prouder to be an American than under Donald Trump. You want to call me part of a cult? Okay. I'm part of a cult. I love America.
I've never felt so safe Ever.
I'm part of America. I guess I'm part of a cult that's called being American. Loving American first policies that are for Americans, not against them. I like to see people. I like to see people succeed. I like to see African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, people all across the board succeed. I like America being on top of the most economic powerhouse in the world. Sorry if I want the best for my country and the people in my country, my fellow Americans. I'm sorry that that's what I want. And I'm sorry that I voted for a president that gave us all that. I'm sorry I don't want to be part of the Chinese regimen. And I don't want to depend on China for anything. I'm sorry. I guess, us deplorables are just a little bit different. I guess for us, America comes first, and for everyone else, America comes last. That's why they voted for Joe Biden. Of course, we got to keep in mind about 30 million of those votes were dead people. So subtract those 30 million, those people probably didn't vote. So minus 30 million, there's a lot of dumb Americans out there. And I'll tell you guys to your face, I'm sorry. If you don't like what I have to say, you don't have to listen. It's that simple. I call it how I see it. Okay, I come from my family comes from a country that began just like these little defunding the police, defunding and let's take away the Second Amendment rights. Let's pack the Supreme Court. Who did that? Hugo Chavez did that. He wanted the power of the courts. He did that in his country. This is how all this starts. It's little baby steps. Baby steps till they get what they want. But you know what I want? I want America first. And already they want to destroy that America first policy. As a matter of fact, disgraceful military, what's his name? This fucking old man, I forget his name. Madison? Madison, is that his name? The general?
Whatever his name,
that fucking cocksucker. I don't know what's his name. Well, he says that we need to get rid of the America first policy. No, let's get back into the America go to war policy because that's the policy they want. They want war. All these people want to see is blood.
It's not about blood. It's about money. They
well, of
get
course,
power that way.
War makes them all money.
Yeah.
It's incredible that the majority of the cabinet that was picked by Joe Biden is literally what every liberal hates. And somehow the media calls them the Avengers. It's like, what the fuck? You think these are the Avengers? The lady that they put as Secretary of State is richer than life. Richer than life. That lady's a multi-millionaire. This is the diverse group of people that he's putting into his cabinet. They're so diverse. Oh my God. Just because.
Yeah, fuck this diversity shit. It's not about diversity. Yeah, you're gonna pick, women,
it's about
men,
who
black,
the fuck
whatever.
can do the job
you're picking
best.
Who's the best fucking candidate at that time for that job?
That's how
what
you
you're
know.
fucking
That's how you
picking.
know how twisted the Democratic Party is and their mindset. They're literally picking people not based on whether they can do the job. They're basing it on their gender, on their color. Yeah. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous that Joe Biden ran with Kamala Harris, the same woman that pretty much called him a rapist, called him a racist, called him all sorts of things, and he picked her as his running mate. You really think he wanted to pick her? He was forced to pick her. They had already set an agenda for him. They told him, listen, you're picking a woman, and it's got to be an African-American woman. She's not even African-American, but whatever. A woman that's a dark skin, because she's Jamaican and half Indian or something like that. Her dad was pissed off because she said she smoked pot. Apparently, those 3,000 people she put behind bars on those on drug charges, they're probably pretty pissed off, especially the guy that almost got the death penalty because of Kamala Harris concealing information to a judge until the judge requested it by order and the man was freed. The guy hates Kamala Harris. I saw his interview. Very interesting story. Look it up.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris almost literally killed a black man for a crime that he did not commit. And she refused to show the evidence that would have that would have freed him. That's some sad shit. That is an evil woman. Oh Lord, that's an evil woman. Whoa, Lord. But yeah, this is the country we're living in. I mean, Chris, if you want to jump in and you want to say something, go ahead. Say your QAnon crazy stuff. I'm in it. I'm with it. I'm a little tipsy. What can I say?
I just say, fuck the Democrats. Every
know-
one of them, man. They're evil. They're fucking Satanists. They're evil. They don't care. You know, they're not trying to do anything that helps America. They want to destroy America. It's not because they hate America. They love America, but they hate what's going on because we have a president that doesn't listen to them and doesn't, you know, go with the flow that's been, you know, the policies for centuries, you know, with the deep state, the elites, you know, doing exactly what they say when they say it, you know, and he can't get paid off. So that's what they hate, and they're just trying to make it hell, and they're just going to transform this America exactly what what's his name was doing, Obama. You heard him. He wants to transform America into a global equality. That's what he wants.
There is a huge problem in America.
Him and Michael.
Look, there's
Come on, man.
there is a huge problem in America.
Sounds like Biden.
It is Biden.
It is Biden, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you are dumb, bro. We've been doing this for a long time.
I didn't realize that. You know.
I mean, who else says, "Come on, man"?
Uh,
It is crazy when Obama ran for office. They called him a radical left, and right now he is literally being attacked by AOC, by the Fantastic Four or Five, the trifecta, whatever the fuck you want to call them, AOC plus 4 or 5, whatever the fuck the numbers increase to.
fucking.
And they're all attacking him because he said that it wasn't a good idea to defund the police. I mean, this is how bad shit's gotten, that they're actually attacking the guy that opened the doorway, kind of,
Yeah.
for more progressives, and they're attacking him this hard because he disagreed with them. You know what's happening right now? What's happening right now is that, okay, Alexandria Cortez, okay, Bernie Sanders, right? Emar, whatever her fucking name is. The other lady, Emar, whatever. The other lady. All of them right now, they all bent over, and Elizabeth Warren right there next to them. They all got bent over, and they just got.
You know they are.
They just got fucked by the Democratic dick. They supported him. He lied to them, gave them no positions, and he fucked them harder than life. And for that, Joe Biden, I kind of like you, because you proved our point that you are a phony, you are a fake, you are the true racist. You are the true criminal, not Donald Trump. You are the true criminal. You are the guy that lies to your own party and then does something. You are the flip-flopper. Everything Donald Trump said about you was 100% on point. But we already knew that because it's 47 years of doing absolutely nothing but enriching your family. We already knew what to expect with you. But I am so happy. That is one thing that I'm happy you did, Joe Biden, Mr. President-elect, or whatever the fuck you want to call yourself that's not official yet. But, yeah, good job. I will give you a round of applause. Here you go. A round of applause because you literally fucked over the progressives. You literally did it. You convinced them to think that you were with them, and you're not. Good job. You manipulated AOC. You manipulated Bernie Sanders. Feel bad for good old Bernie because he keeps getting the shorter end of the stick every single fucking election year. So
Listen, I don't think he manipulated anything. I think he owed these motherfuckers for forever, and he promised.
dude,
that
all he did was put Obama's fucking cabinet, and he just changed the positions.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I
mean,
think he
for
owed
God's
them
sakes,
to Obama.
he put John Kerry in charge of climate change. A guy that has a
I
private
know.
jet. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? What does that guy know about climate? I mean,
Nothing.
at least if you wanted us to take you serious, Joe Biden, I'm talking to you directly. If you probably don't listen to my podcast, but I mean, if you wanted to really show Americans that you were serious about climate change, maybe you should have hired a scientist. Maybe, I don't know. Just a suggestion. I would assume, since you follow the science, I would assume that you would follow the scientists.
If it's an honest scientist, you know, they'll tell them the fucking truth, which is all the lies that they're trying to come up with.
I'm saying that if he really followed the science, he would find someone who believes in climate change, who has a degree in that field, and knows the field. Instead, he just gave his friend another position in power so his friend can travel just like John Kerry loves it, traveling all over Europe, staying in fancy hotels, all on the dime of the American people. Even though he has plenty of, he's got plenty of money. He doesn't need our money, but he'll take our money to take those vacation trips. And then he'll make those little side deals that they all make in other countries. He'll hang out with powerful people, and he'll hang out with all the socialites, all the powerful classes of all over the world. Meanwhile, the Chinese will they'll keep going with their plot of world domination, of globalization, where they're in control of everything and everybody depends on them. They're already doing it. I mean, they've bought off poor Italy. They've taken a bunch of their ports. So, I mean, they're doing a great job, and we're just helping them now by electing Joe Biden. We just helped China gain more power. So that's great. We used to make pharmaceutical products here in the U.S. We used to have it in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico used to be a prosperous, I don't know what to call it because it's kind of like a country, but it's a resident of our country. But Puerto Rico used to be prosperous. We used to do a lot of pharmaceutical companies were in Puerto Rico. Oh man, those days are gone. Who was it that did that? It was during the Bill Clinton administration. Yeah. So
they're not going. I think Donald Trump was talking about doing that again.
Well, I mean, Donald Trump has about a month left in office, so.
No, he doesn't. He's going to be president again.
Listen, until I see something, I mean, look, everything's on the table. I mean, the electorals can literally go, we're giving Donald Trump Pennsylvania. Even after the state gets certified, they could do the same in Georgia. We saw too much fraud, and we don't think Joe Biden won. Exactly. But then it'll end up into a big shitstorm, and Joe Biden would have to hire his legal team, which he already has it ready.
Of course.
I mean, again, I have one really simple question. If they're so certain that they have this in the bag, why hasn't Kamala Harris given up her Senate seat?
Yeah, because she knows.
That's a question that I've been thinking about. I was like, you would think that she would already be trying to find her replacement, or at least somebody to replace her. She would already let people take course. I believe the governor chooses it, or I'm not sure exactly who chooses it. Somebody else chooses the senator. And for those of you who live in the great state of Georgia, you need to go out there and make sure you vote Republican on the runoffs. Don't let these people cheat us again. Do not let these people cheat us again. The balance, if Trump does not get reelected, I'm hopeful he does, the balance of power lies in the hands of the Senate. They are literally the firewall that can block off Joe Biden and literally make his 4 years of presidency absolutely nothing. Just a dent in a history book. Just a little mark on a history book. What are we doing with the
House right now? How many do we have in there?
We don't have enough. We don't have enough.
I understand that. I'm just saying, how many did we gain so far?
I believe we're by 12 or 13. I'm not sure.
I mean, that's still amazing. Like,
yeah, I don't know where the blue wave went. The blue wave must have collapsed against a wall or something, or against that wall that Trump made. That blue wave apparently couldn't get through the Mexican wall. I mean, I don't understand, guys. I'm trying. Look, my goal here is not to change people's mindset. My goal here is not to try to change people's opinions or try to change people's political stands. My goal here is just to open your eyes a little bit. Every day I stream, not for money, not for any other reason. I stream literally just to understand what is in the left's mind. Why do they vote the way they do? I stream on a left-wing platform. What I take serious, what I do, and I'm very passionate about is my podcast, but I do stream daily. I stream live, and I'm just trying to get an understanding of why these people vote the way they do, why they think the way they do. And I'm going to tell you, I don't get anywhere. I haven't learned a fucking thing yet. And I've been doing it for 6 months now? I just don't understand why they vote. They apparently just don't like Donald Trump. And apparently they don't like themselves either. A lot of them are very hateful. And I'm not trying to change their minds. I'm just trying to understand them. I'm trying to see if there's any common ground. I bring a lot of people on my show that are democratic socialists. You guys have heard them from Canada, from different places. I like getting people's perspective on my show so people can have an understanding of other people's political views. But it's insane to me. It's just insane to me. They have no arguments. I mean, I literally start my stream and the first thing that I get, and I'm telling you, I get about 100 of these just straight down. Copium. You need to copium. Basically telling me Donald Trump lost. You need to cope. You need to cope with it. Listen, I'm a grown-ass man. I don't need to cope with shit. You guys are the ones that are gonna get fucked by Donald Trump. I mean, I mean, you better believe.
Fucking,
you bet. I mean, you guys are gonna get.
and he's not using lube.
I mean, you guys are the ones that are gloating before the battle's over. I mean, before the battle's begun. I mean, yeah, if Joe Biden wins, you guys are still gonna get fucked. I mean, regardless, you guys lose. It's a lose-lose for the liberals. I mean, and the progressives. So if you guys think it's a victory, it's not. It's going to come out of your pocket. You're going to feel it. I know what I'm going to do. I've already got things in play. I know I'm going to prevent myself. I know I'm going to prevent myself from taking any economic crisis, any losses because of Joe Biden's stupidity and stupid moves. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not going to say what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing, and it's not illegal. I'm just going to handle things the way, let's just say my money is going to go into idle. It's not going to move. It's going to be stagnant until a real president comes in. But for now, I mean, that's the only option I have because I foresee a bad future for America. And I think a lot of people should sit down, a lot of you guys out there who listen to me that may have stocks, that may have money invested. The stock market's doing really well right now. If Trump keeps losing cases, you may want to consider talking to your financial advisor about maybe moving your money around in case there's a sudden drop in the stocks and you end up losing a large sum of your fortune or a large sum of your retirement. Just some food for thought. I'm just saying, got to be prepared for everything. Guys, I bid you farewell. It was a pleasure. This was a pretty long podcast. I enjoyed it quite a lot. There was a lot of things I needed to get off my chest. I'm glad Chris is here. I always bring Chris. Chris is my right-hand man. He's my partner. He's on my stream, and people call him a lunatic. People attack him, and he just laughs. He doesn't really care. He's the coolest guy I know, and he's out there, believe it or not, he's out there fighting the good fight in his own way. In his own weird way, he's fighting the good fight. He's not doing the podcast. He's not doing all that. But he talks to his people. He at least... he spreads the word, and every time he gets a chance to get on this podcast and express what he feels about what's going on, he gets on it. Same way in my stream. So we're all fighting in our own ways. I just highly recommend that everybody out there just be safe, do the right thing. Don't get yourself into any trouble. You'll know when the time is right. If something needs to be done, you'll know when the time is right. Everybody will know when the time is right. With that, God bless you, God bless your families, and God bless this beautiful country we call America.
It's Judge Jeanine. I want to thank you for listening to the Republican Nation podcast. It's an important podcast to listen to because the Republican Nation is all about the Constitution, the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, and all of those rights that are important to all of us. We've got to make sure that America doesn't lose any of those rights and that we stay true to our founding fathers' intent. So thanks again for listening to the Republican Nation.
Hey, this is Corey Lewandowski, and I just want to call and say thank you for all that you're doing to run your small podcast called The Republican Nation. Look, I know that it's not easy sometimes to run a podcast, but I want to call and say thank you for having everybody tune into the Republican Nation, where America always comes first. So let's keep America great. Let's continue to support President Trump and all those that have supported him throughout the last 5 years. I can tell you something, that our fight is not over. We'll continue to make sure that we're putting America first, and that those on the left who want to have socialism determine our future will never be successful. All the best to you, and there's still more fight in us. You take care.